Thank you all for joining us here today for this ribbon-cutting ceremony of the Judicial Annex. My name is Karina and I'm the Director of Public Affairs for Hidalgo County, and I'd like to welcome you all for joining us here today. Before I begin, I would like to recognize some of our elected officials who are here in our audience. This Judicial Annex houses County Courts 7 and 8, and I'd like to recognize Honorable Sergio Valdez, Judge of County Court 7, and the Honorable Rolando Cantu, as well as Master Courts 1 and 2, Honorable John Rivera, and Honorable Maria Socorro Leos. This Judicial Annex also houses the Child Protection Court, and I'd like to recognize Judge Carlos Villalon as well. Thank you very much. I would also like to thank the Edinburg Chamber of Commerce for being in attendance today and helping us with the ribbon cutting ceremony, as well as the RGV Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. So thank you very much for being here as well. I would also like to recognize some of our county commissioners. We have the Honorable County Judge Ramon Garcia joining us. We have Commissioner A.C. Cuellar Jr., and I believe I saw Commissioner Joseph Palacios as well. I'd also like to recognize our Democratic Party Chair, Ms. Kelly Rivera Salazar. Thank you for joining us today. And we also have several district and county court judges, including the Honorable Judge Bobby Flores, who is actually going to say a few words later. We'd like to recognize Judge Ricardo as well, and Judge Fred Garza, who is joining us today. In addition, I would like to thank the UTK President Robert Nelsen for joining us as well. Thank you for coming. Before we begin, I would like to introduce Ms. Genesis Keren Nava, who will be singing our national anthem. As many of you may know, Genesis was recently featured on the television show America's Got Talent, and we're very proud to have her in our presence. Genesis?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and our home of the brave.
Okay, I would also like to recognize, of course, our District Clerk, Laura Hinojosa, who is very instrumental in helping us put on today's reception. Thank you, Ms. Hinojosa. And of course, joining us today as well as our County Commissioner Tito Palacios from Precinct 2, and Commissioner Joseph Palacios from Precinct 4. At this time, I would like to recognize Judge Ramon Garcia to say a few words.
Well, today we are here to mark the occasion of a move to centralize our county's judicial system back to the courthouse square. But before proceeding, let me begin by answering the most commonly asked questions of our commissioners and myself anytime we get anywhere near this building, and that is, yes, we are going to be constructing a new courthouse. You know, I'm in my second term. The first term, I had to learn how to count. There's 5 people on that court. You need 3 votes to get anything done. And I can tell you very honestly and sincerely that we've got 3+ perhaps even a unanimous court on the construction of a new facility. Now, it's going to be hard to get these judges to move from this one if we ever construct one, but we're going to do the best we can. Now, your county commissioner's court understands that we have the responsibility to meet the current and the future needs of our county community. To better appreciate where we as a county commissioners and a county community find ourselves today, we have to visit our county's history. Texas became a state in 1848. We were at that time part of Cameron County. In 1852, Hidalgo County was created by the legislature. The first Commissioner's Court met on September the 2nd, 1852 at a general store owned by a gentleman named R.E. Smith. And this was at a place called La Habitación, which later became the city of Hidalgo. The commissioners leased a building from Mr. Smith to use as a courthouse. In 1886, the citizens of Hidalgo County passed a $20,000 bond issue and built a new courthouse and a jail to house 25 prisoners. $20,000 to construct a new courthouse. In 1887, a flood occurred, damaging the building. The Commissioner's Court realized they had to move. In 1908, an election was held to consider moving the courthouse to Chapin, which is now the community of Edinburg and where we find ourselves in today. There was an election. The move-ins won 422 to 90. In 1910, 2 years later, the County Commissioner's Court built a new courthouse and jail for $85,000. It housed one district court, one county court of law. The district court was not a standing court, it was a circuit court, the 79th District Court, which is presently, I believe, in Alice. In 1923, the legislature created the 92nd District Court, and in 1932, the 93rd District Court was created by the legislature. Later on, during the next decade, the 139th District Court was created. By 1954, a new courthouse building was built to accommodate 3 district courts, 1 county court at law. That's our present courthouse. Today, in 2013, we had 59 years later, we have to accommodate 10 district courts, 8 county courts at law, plus 5 specialty courts, a total of 23 different courts. We need space. We need space. These portable buildings will be adequate for a transition period, but we clearly need a new building to have a centralized judicial system. The cost of a new facility is estimated to be over $100 million. The challenge is, how do we go about building it without increasing our tax rate? Our tax rate presently is 59 cents per $100,000 valuation, and frankly, we're the highest out of the 10 major counties in Texas. The larger counties, you know, the San Antonio's, Bexar, and Dallas, and Harris, and all these major counties in Texas, we have the highest tax rate. We tax our citizens at a higher rate than they do. And I can understand why. We don't have those big buildings that are valued at hundreds of millions of dollars, but at the same time, it's still, when you look at the total picture, the big picture, we need to be careful because we also have the largest indigent population in the state here in our county, and we've got to be very selective about when we go out there and ask our citizens to tax themselves so that we can build these public buildings. But this one is clearly, severely needed, and we hope that at some point in time the community appreciates the fact that we do need a new courthouse, and will go along with the County Commissioner's Court in trying to get it constructed. I would like to thank the companies involved in the construction of this building. First of all, there's one guy who everybody blames, and that's Guerra. If it took so long, if it cost quite a bit, it's Balde's fault. Balde. That's the guy right there. He did a good job out there. I know it took a while, and I know we started off at $2 million. We wound up at 2.7, but it's a beautiful facility. Congratulations. And the people involved in building it were the Ramp Tech Building Systems, CAS companies, that were the general contractor. Half and Associates were the structural engineers. Dannenbaum Engineering was the architect. Star Telecom provided the security installation. And we want to thank all these companies for doing a good job here in constructing these facilities. Again, I want to thank you for being here this morning. You know, what we're doing is we're hopefully starting the construction of a legacy for future generations, just like those individuals did when they constructed the first building, the second building, and a third courthouse building that we called the courthouse, the judicial centers of every county. When we're building this, after we're through this, hopefully will take us through the 21st century. And you know, there's going to be a lot of people. There'll be new generations, new people will be walking down these courthouse square parking areas and sidewalks, but hopefully they will appreciate the work that we have done here today and in our near future in building a new building. Thank you very much.
At this point, I'd like to recognize the Honorable Bobby Flores. He is the local presiding administrative judge for Hidalgo County and the judge of the 139th District Court. Judge.
Good morning. Welcome to this fine edition that we have here. It reminds me of many years ago when I was in high school. I was very hairy back then. Going to driver's ed, I went to one of these buildings in driver's ed. Nothing much has changed. On behalf of all the judges, I want to thank the Commissioner's Court for doing a great job for housing us. I know that Rolando Cantu is looking forward to presiding in these chambers. So is Mr. Villalon and Judge Rivera. And we need a new courthouse. Judge Ramon says, I mean, there's no doubt about that. We need a new courthouse. Folks, throughout my 33 years being a lawyer, I practiced 25 years, and I went to different courthouses. And this courthouse is not in the top 10, folks. And we got to follow what Houston did. Back in the old days, Houston, you had to go to different buildings to go to the courthouse. Now, the problem that we have now is that we have to select juries or have to impound juries twice a day. Another problem we have mold, we have asbestos. Guys, you go into my courtroom, it's 50 degrees regardless what time of year it is. It's ridiculous. Then Rick Rodriguez tries a bunch of jury cases, doesn't have a jury room, doesn't have a place for juries to deliberate. So we do need a place, folks, and I know these commissioners are doing a great job. I know that they don't want to raise their taxes. That's what happens all the time, but you know, they're doing a great job. So I'm going to ask that you talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends, and tell them, come visit your courthouse, look what it looks like, and just, they'll come to the same decision. We need a new courthouse. Now, I told Karina before I sat down, I was going to speak very long because it's hot. But Laura, Karina, we're having a what they call an e-filing system. That takes effect January the 1st. In civil cases, folks, there's not going to be any more paper. The judges are not going to be able to review files. It's going to be all computerized. That's going to save money. It's going to save time. And most of all, it's going to save space. So that's very important. Folks, we're growing at a rapid rate, and we need to tell the whole world what a great county this is. This is God's country. Thank you. Have a good day.
So I would like to really thank you all for being here. I know it's a little warm, but this was a really nice ceremony. The decorative elements in this judicial annex are very beautiful, and I think we did the best that we could with what we had. So once again, congratulations to everyone. I hope that all the judges have a good time here at their new courtrooms. And at this point, we are going to do the ribbon cutting. So I would ask, before the public moves to the back, we're going to do it facing east. And I would like the Edinburg Chamber of Commerce and the RGV Chamber of Commerce to make preparations to do the actual ceremony of cutting the ribbon. Thank you.